My brothers and sisters, what is going on? This is Steel Sermon in the house. Sunday evening with another video. As always, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. Link is posted in the description below. Let's talk about the draft a little bit. Draft is coming up quicker than we think. And I'll tell you one guy that's on my mind that I want the Pittsburgh Steelers to be drafting this spring. Specifically at pick number 32, because I think this guy's going to be either a late first rounder or early second rounder. And we currently have the 32nd overall pick. And I want the big guy, Dawand Jones, out of Ohio State. That's who I want the Pittsburgh Steelers to be drafting at 32. And here's why I want us to take him at 32 in particular. So, the Steelers in recent years, as most of you know, we've had a real good track record and we've developed a really good knack at targeting bigger offensive tackles in recent years. And some, notable names that come up: Big V, Alejandro Villanueva, Zach Banner, Marcus Gilbert. They were all pretty good frames, and they were heavier tacklers as well. And for the most part, they fit well on the O-line right there. And it seemed to kind of continue last year when we had a lot of interest in the Ravens' current offensive lineman in Daniel Filelli, if I'm pronouncing that name right. And we missed out on him in the draft, but he could have been an even better big guy for us. But again, we missed out on him. But you take a look at a guy like Dawand Jones. Similar structure, similar frame. And he stood out at the Senior Bowl where he was at 6'8", 375 pounds, and a really big arm length. And these are things that I don't particularly get a lot into, but it makes sense for the context of this video. His arm length was at 36 and 5/8 inches long. He's a pretty big boy. And despite him being a really big man, he has sneaky athleticism considering his size and his mauling presence at any kind of line. I think this guy just plays like a Pittsburgh Steeler. And assuming that he can stay healthy and he tests well, he should really be in the conversation for a guy that we should be targeting. And, you take a look at what he's done in college. He's been really improving on his skill set, and he's been really improving in general. And I believe that he can fit the left side of the O-line really well. Because you take a look at our offensive line, Kevin Dotson and Dan Moore, they just have not been getting the job done at all for us. And I think when he played in his first year with Ohio State, it really stood out. The guy's a monster. He's incredibly young. I think he has a really high ceiling in the NFL, and I think he's going to be able to provide somewhat of a spark to this offensive line. It's like, yeah, we can take this big boy out of Ohio State, beef up the offensive line a little bit, make it a little bit more athletic, and then we'll go from there. Now, what we do at 17, I don't know. I know that a lot of mock draft experts, they've projected us to take Joey Porter Jr. out of Penn State. And while I would be on board with it, I still stand by my statement that if Jordan Addison's still available, you snatch him up. But a lot of mock draft experts have us taking Joey Porter Jr. out of Penn State, which would make sense, considering that he's a corner. And we desperately need a corner on this secondary. It's easily the worst part of our defense are the corners. But the biggest need for us personally coming into this draft is offensive line. Because that'll open up some holes for Najee. That'll allow him to expand his window of opportunity in the league. And it'll prolong Kenny Pickett way longer in his young career. It'll do wonders if we address that right now, instead of just sitting on our hands and waiting for it to fall into our laps later down the line. But yeah, man, those are the reasons why I want the big man, Dawand Jones, out of Ohio State at number 32 overall. Let me know what you think down below. Do you think we should take Dawand Jones at 32, or should we take another need for that? But let me know what you just think down below. These are just my general thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe. And again, follow me on Instagram. Link is posted below. Steel Sermon checking on out for the night. May God be with you all.